Okay. Well, first of all, I just want to welcome everybody and thank you for joining us on this cold day, although I guess it's not as cold in Kingston as it is here in the prairies. But we're just happy that you guys were able to join us for our virtual presentation on our new cruise tour, Sailing the St. Lawrence. Oh, slides are a little slow here. Must be all the cold weather here we're having. Slows everything down. So as Western Canada's premier motor coach touring company, WestWorld Tours has been serving Canadians from coast to coast with escorted travel throughout North America and around the world. We offer quality components to all tours, including modern and comfortable coaches, professional tour directors, experienced, courteous drivers, baggage handling, and excellent tour accommodations. Our tours include the sites and attractions important to our clients. We also provide several meals throughout the tour. Thousands of passengers have chosen WestWorld Tours' first-class style of motor coach touring, enjoying the great value, security, and stress-free environment, all while making new friendships along the way. We receive a high level of satisfaction from our passenger surveys, and I know our tour directors love seeing familiar faces on our tours. We're excited to share with you this new tour. Sailing the St. Lawrence encompasses the history, culture, adventure of the area. Journey through the cities of St. Jacobs, Niagara Falls, Toronto, and Kingston before embarking on a scenic cruise down the St. Lawrence River. Enjoy sights along the way during shore excursions, ending with city tours of historic Montreal and Ottawa. So I'm pleased to introduce you to Koral, who sounds like most of you are familiar with and have traveled with before. Koral has been a tour director with WestWorld Tours for over 20 years and has explored all 7 continents. Daniel is joining us from St. Lawrence Cruise Lines. He is a marketing coordinator there and has been with the cruise line since 1999. He lists his favorite cruise as Canada's Capital Cruise because it actually visits 2 national capitals. And Mona, the reservation manager, has been with St. Lawrence Cruise Lines for 25 years. She always says that cruises are unique in their own way, and each cruise has something different to offer. So we'll start with Koral talking about the itinerary, and then we'll have Daniel walk us through life on board the cruise. At the end, there'll be time for questions. And if you'd like, you can ask a question during the presentation in the chat box at the bottom of your screen, and I'll read those out at the end. And I will also open up the lines for questions at the end. So now I'll pass it over to Koral, and she will take us through this new tour.
Well, I just want to say a big hello to everyone who's joining us. It's a real pleasure to have you all here with us. I'm joining you from our home up in Churchill, Manitoba. I just watched 2 red foxes just run through the backyard while Leanne was talking here. So I see a few thumbnails, many of you I can't, but it's a pleasure to have you all with us. And thank you for joining us. We have missed you all, our passengers, our friends, our clients, and I know we all look forward to traveling together again. I often say that I think a tour that includes both motor coach travel and a cruise of some sort is like having the best of both worlds. I've said that for years and I really believe it. Of course, like Leanne said, I've been in this industry for a long, long time, and maybe it goes without saying, but I am a lover of motor coach travel. And there's a lot of reasons for that. Some of it's just really obvious. I think the picture that Leanne has up on the screen is just a really great shot because it really shows the camaraderie that we share in the coach. And that's certainly why I love it. You know, you start off as strangers and you leave as friends. So it really is about worry-free travel as well. That's the whole idea, you know, not having to worry about figuring out where you're going, what you're going to see and do. it's all taken care of for you. So the idea of having, you know, professional courteous drivers, worry-free travel, also learning about the destinations and places you're visiting. That's part of our job as guides. I love fun facts, which is something that we love to do. So yeah, learning, worry-free, and you know, like I say, maybe most importantly, just the idea of that camaraderie and the fun that we share on the coach. So definitely a huge plus to life on a coach. The screen that Leanne has up for us now, I love the caption that she has on there. It says along the way. So this is partially a motor coach tour. So we journey from our home, starting out from Saskatchewan and then making our way through Manitoba and into the province of Ontario. So you see there's actually a lovely shot of Winnipeg. It's a beautiful picture up in the top left-hand corner. The first overnight of the tour is in Winnipeg. And then we continue our journey along the Trans-Canada Highway. Gorgeous shot of Lake Superior. Of course, we do a nice photo overlook or two along the shores of Lake Superior. There's a beautiful picture of Kakabeka Falls on the screen as well too. So that's what you're looking at in the top right-hand corner. Kakabeka Falls is just about 20 minutes outside of Thunder Bay. That's our next overnight as we begin the journey east, coming from Winnipeg all the way to Thunder Bay. Yeah, gorgeous overlook stop there. Another one of the really enjoyable spots on the journey out as we head east is at the bottom of the screen. And that is a really touching and beautiful tribute. It's quite a large statue of what I'd certainly consider to be one of the great heroes of our Canadian culture, the icon Terry Fox. Unfortunately, he was forced to abandon his run just outside of Thunder Bay, Ontario. As I say, they built a really beautiful memorial to him, and that's one of our stops. So again, this just goes to show you, you know, the stops we make just on the journey. So fun on the coach, games, hey, time for a nap, getting to know your fellow travelers, and the journey is, you know, it's a huge part of it. It's not all the destination in life. It really is the journey. But it's also about the destinations as well, too. We're pretty excited about this. St. Jacobs, Ontario is a new place for WestWorld. We've actually never spent time sightseeing in St. Jacobs before. For those of you who don't know, St. Jacobs, Ontario is just outside of Waterloo, Ontario, and the Waterloo-St. Jacobs region has the largest population of Old Order Mennonite folks of anywhere in Canada. So that's really what it's all about there. It's quite a major tour attraction. With WestWorld, we only just started in 2019, our first opportunity to explore the culture of the Old Order Mennonite as well as the Amish people. That was a tour to the US, but hey, it's pretty exciting that we can see this type of thing right in Canada as well. So with this large population of Old Order Mennonite, this is a huge part of their culture. You see in the left-hand side of the screen here, the Mennonite Story Museum, and it is considered to be a real treasure trove of the Mennonite culture. So that's one of our stops. We have a tour there. We also have a guided tour of the, you know, seeing the farmyards and just the culture of the Old Order Mennonite, and of course some free time as well. It's always important to have some of that on our tours. There's over 100 retailers in downtown St. Jacobs selling everything from pottery to quilts to Tiffany lamps and glassware. So something for everyone to have a look at. So pretty cool spot. And I think as guides, I know myself, and I'm sure that my coworkers would agree with me. We love factoids. So yeah, a couple factoids for you. But you see the shot of a covered bridge in the lower right-hand corner of our screen. What you're looking at is actually one of the oldest covered bridges that still remain in Canada. This one dates back to the mid 1800s, actually. But this particular one is called the West Montrose Covered Bridge. That's in St. Jacobs, but it has a nickname too. This is a common nickname. It's called the Kissing Bridge. So for obvious reasons, I suppose. Couple actually practical reasons though, just little fun fact for you this afternoon. Covered bridges increase the duration that the bridge would last, kept the timbers from rotting, and eased the fear of the animals when they were crossing over a bridge and couldn't see the water below. So there you go. That's why covered bridges actually existed. And one more little fun fact for you. We're all familiar with home hardware stores. Home hardware actually started in St. Jacobs, Ontario, and their headquarters are still there. So yeah, that's St. Jacobs. We're really looking forward to that stop. And this is a big one. This screen here that we have up shows the next part of our journey on the motor coach portion of the trip. And this is a look at Niagara Falls and Toronto. So I'll try and be brief. I'm not that good at that. But yeah, this just shows you some of the sites that we're going to see. I think it's actually really cool that this tour is scheduled to coincide with Canada Day. You see the fireworks over Niagara Falls. So we have a nice stop in Niagara Falls. There's a couple of shots here of the, well, formerly known as the Maid of the Mist. The Maid of the Mist boat is now on the US side. Canada has, it's called the Hornblower Cruise. And yeah, you're looking in that smaller shot in the center of the American side, which is Broadville. With fireworks, that's Horseshoe Falls. Together they make up Niagara Falls. So yeah, we do a boat cruise. We also in the lower left-hand corner, the background is there we go. In the lower left-hand corner, we have a close-up shot of the folks enjoying the boat cruise on Niagara Falls. So nothing like getting right up close and personal to Niagara Falls, and that's the best way to do it. We have a fully guided tour during our stay at Niagara Falls as well too. If you're familiar with the area, this includes some of the local sites like the Floral Clock and Whirlpool Gorge, as well as learning some of those fascinating stories about Niagara Falls. We take a scenic drive tour out to Niagara on the Lake, and also we have a winery tour as well. So that'll be a lot of fun. So tasting and tour at one of the Niagara Falls wineries, certainly one of our premier regions in Canada for wine growing. Definitely probably most famous for the ice wines in Ontario as well. And then the pictures in the lower left right-hand side of our screen, we're looking at Toronto. So we're going to spend a little time in Toronto as well. We have another fully guided tour in Toronto. We're looking at Rogers Centre in the bottom right-hand corner. We'll see that. We'll see Yorkville, the Fashion District, the Distillery District. We'll see Casa Loma as well, the mansion of Toronto. And then also we will have tickets included for the whole group to go up to the top of CN Tower. So that's pretty exciting. So we'll have a bird's eye view, that's for sure, of Toronto from the top of CN Tower as part of our Toronto tour. So lots to say, lots to see. It's good, Leanne, thanks. Okay, Kingston is another spot that we're really excited about with WestWorld because this is another brand new destination for us. We have never spent time with WestWorld sightseeing in Kingston. So the city of Kingston, Ontario sits on the shores of Lake Ontario. It's known as the Limestone City and known for its 19th century architecture. So we'll be there for a couple nights as well. On the left-hand side of the screen, you're looking at the Kingston Penitentiary. It's actually closed now. We'll see it, but it's no longer open. It opened way back in 1835 and only closed in 2013, actually. And then in the top right-hand corner of the screen, we're looking at Bellevue House. This is going to be one of our tours during our stay in Kingston. We'll actually have a guided tour with Parks Canada staff. It's a National Historic Site today. And if you're not familiar, well, Kingston was the home of our first Prime Minister, Sir John A. Macdonald. So Sir John A. Macdonald and Isabella, his wife, lived at Bellevue House back in the day. So we have a guided tour there. And we also have a guided tour of Fort Henry, and that's Fort Henry that you're looking at the bottom of the screen. The original fort dates back to 1812 to 1814. So of course, I know it's so easy to slip into guide mode here. I'm sorry, but we're talking, of course, about the War of 1812. That fort was then was redone. The second fort dates to the 1800s, and then it was restored just in the so the 1930s. It was restored originally 1812. Second fort 1830s, restored 1930s, and we'll have a look at 19th century military life on a guided tour of the of Fort Henry at Kingston. So that is some of our sightseeing attractions that we get to enjoy on the trip. Lots to see.
Perfect. Thanks, Koral. Now I'll pass it over to Daniel, and he'll tell us more about the cruise portion of this tour. I'll just share. Daniel, you should be able to share your screen now.
We'll get things going here. Can you see that?
Nothing's coming up quite yet, but it shows that you're sharing your screen. Oh, there we go. Yeah.
You can see it. Okay,
Yeah,
so I wanted to start out by saying, though, it's really interesting to be able to see what you're doing for the beginning of your itinerary, because it makes me realize that this is such, I think it's an amazing fit as far as the kind of things we always talk about for our cruises are. It's about the beauty and history of the journey on the river, and the focus on intimacy and camaraderie with the passengers, because it's small ship cruising. And it's a really, the passengers always have a great opportunity to get to know each other. And it sounds like you guys are already gonna get to know each other so well. And I think it'll just be a really nice fit for that kind of thing. I'll get started here. So this is just my agenda. You don't have to worry about that too much. This is more to guide me than to guide you for where we're going here. So we always like to talk about the history of the company, because it's a family-owned business, and it has been for 40 years. I noticed that it's 20th anniversary for this travel business, but this is our 40th anniversary this year for us. So we're kind of sharing a birthday or sharing an anniversary this year. And from 1981 till now, we've been doing this. Robert Clark was our founder and formed the company. And the first cruise went in 1981 in Kingston. And Bob and his wife Myrna would often travel on board with the passengers right up till 2015 when he passed away. And they would always take part in cruises. It's still family owned, and it's still very important to us. And that's why both Mona and I would always talk about the history of the company. It's one of the reasons why for Mona and I, we've both been involved with the company for over 20 years ourselves. It's that kind of company that you stay with. So the river is our home. With 40 years on the river, we really pride ourselves in having the longest, the most experience with showing the river. This is our backyard, and sometimes when it's your backyard, you take it for granted, and you forget that the beauty of the Thousand Islands and the St. Lawrence River is something so many people want to see, and it's always a wake-up call for us when people are coming from California or Western Canada, and they're just in awe of the St. Lawrence River. Sometimes you do take it for granted when we have it outside our door, kind of thing. But the way we think about it is we're opening our home to you and sharing it with you. It's a very intimate experience. It's authentic. It's supposed to be warm. It's supposed to be relaxed and really give you the feeling of that river life. A bit about the Canadian Empress. The Canadian Empress is a small ship. It's 108 feet long with 32 staterooms and a maximum of 64 passengers. This was very important for us this year because with the recent sort of announcement made by Transport Canada, there's really, to our reckoning, only 3 cruise ships in Canada that will be running, and we're one of them. So we're a small ship. That means we're easily able to meet all the safety protocols that were involved last fall and possibly this spring and into the summer. And what it means is that we know that with the size of the ship that we can keep people sufficiently distant and safe through the entire cruise. Improving the passenger experience. Now, the ship, I don't know if you've noticed, it's really done as in the form of a Victorian era steamboat. And that was really the interior of it has bits of that as well. Now it's become something of a fusion. You'll notice in this picture the tin ceilings sort of and the brass railings were sort of throwbacks to the Victorian era. As time has gone on, we've renovated all of the grand salon and replaced all the windows and things like that to open it up. But at one point, it looked very much like a 1919 steamboat. What we found is that as years went by, the kind of things involved with that kind of decor, dark wood and heavy curtains and things like that had to be replaced because we really was getting in the way of the ability to see the river. And that's really the most important thing about our cruise is the ability to experience the St. Lawrence River in all its glory. So look at a couple of the staterooms. The one at the top is one of our premier rooms with double beds. Most of the rooms, though, on board have 2 twin beds. Generally, the rooms were originally done in this steamboat style, and that means that they were originally done to replicate a 1919 steamboat. Not many places are made to that size or to those specifications anymore. So we've really done a lot of work to open them up. And you see on the bottom left that the double windows, that's stateroom either 3 or 4 have that, and it just opens things up as you can see the river all around you. But every room has a view of the river. Life on the river. And I kind of made a bit of a note based on what you're talking about life on the involved in coach travel, which is it's about camaraderie, it's about hospitality, it's about relaxation, telling stories, and learning the history and of the region you pass through. And you'll be able to do that throughout our trip. Each little port town has its own stories, and we're going to visit attractions and things in each town. I wanted to sort of have a comment on the Thousand Islands itself and the St. Lawrence River, but also you're going to get to go through some of the locks of the St. Lawrence Seaway. If you've never been through anything like that, the ship will be raised or lowered as many as 50 feet. So when you're in the lock, you'll notice that where you're going is actually 50 feet lower, the size of a waterfall, lower than what you are. These locks were created to facilitate the economic trade of the St. Lawrence Seaway. And I find that it's one of the things when we're going through a lock, so many of our passengers will want to be on the top deck or on the bow to see the water rush in or out as the ship is raised or lowered. Ottawa, I wanted to talk about the itinerary itself, and hopefully I'm not going to take too long for you guys, but I have got a map of the itinerary. So we're going to start in Kingston, and we've already heard what will be involved in getting you there. Our first night will be spent at Thousand Islands Anchorage, and that is between Kingston and Gananoque, just outside, right in the heart of the Thousand Islands. And that is a private anchorage that we've had for 40 years, where the ship is actually moored in the middle of the islands, and it rotates around a buoy throughout the evening. And when you wake up, the Thousand Islands is all around you. So it's a very sort of spectacular way to start your cruise. On night 2 will be in Upper Canada Village, which is Morrisburg, Ontario. And that is, there's a marina there called Chrysler Park Marina that we've been going to for so many years, but that facilitates our trip to the Upper Canada Village, which is similar in tone to the Mennonite at St. Jacobs that you talked about. I'm guessing Morrisburg and St. Jacobs have a little bit in common. Upper Canada Village was built as a living museum where people actually live in the lifestyle of the time. So night 3 is Coteau Landing. It'll be your first night in Quebec, and it's just across the border, not far from Cornwall, Ontario. And Coteau Landing is sort of, you can really see the start of, there's the old canal system that used to go north to Ottawa, starts there. And at one point, Coteau Landing was really the start of the trade area, because that part of the river, and especially between Ottawa and Montreal, was like a great source of the fur trade and things like that, fur and timber back in the day. Night 4 will be in Montreal, or just outside of Montreal on the Sheen, although you will have a chance to see Montreal. And it sounds like maybe you'll have a chance to see it at the end as well. But the Port of Montreal to me is always wonderful, because you get to see how the city, especially if you approach it from the water, you'll see how the city was born out of the harbor. You know, it was built up around the water. So when you approach it from the water, you get to see the real majestic side of the city. And finally, Montebello, Quebec, which is just about on the way to Ottawa, just about halfway to Ottawa. And Montebello is a very famous, I don't want to say tourist town, but it's famous for, there's a government retreat area there, and you'll see the Prime Minister will be hosting someone in Montebello. So there's like a famous resort there. But the reason we like to go there is because it's very close to Omega Park, which is a wildlife preserve that we will make sure that you get a chance to visit. Highlights, I think I've already sort of touched on that. The Thousand Islands should be a great highlight for you, and you'll have lots of time to go through all the little islands. I'm supposed to tell you, I'm legally obligated, that there's 1,860 islands last time they counted, so it's more than 1,000. And you'll get to be that close as that image you're seeing there, where you'll see all the little islands around you. With a small ship, you can really go places that other ships can't. Port of Montreal, again, I spoke about how the harbor rises up around, the city sort of grew up around the harbor, and you'll get a really good sense of that as you enter it. Where beauty and history meet. This has a lot to do, and I actually wrote this down, a little note when you're talking about visiting Fort Henry and the War of 1812, because the War of 1812 really dominates the St. Lawrence River in our stretch. It's important. It's the reason why the capital of Upper Canada started in Kingston and was moved to Ottawa. It was moved to Ottawa to put some distance between the Americans and the capital. It's also why Fort Henry is there, and it's also why Fort Wellington in Prescott was so popular as well. So you'll see the impact of the War of 1812, I think, throughout down the river as you visit a number of attractions. The last thing I wanted to talk about is just during the pandemic, especially, we were able to run last September. And to my knowledge, we were one of the very few companies that were able to run tours at that time. This was done in cooperation with our local health authority, and had a lot to do with the size of the ship and our ability to take care of everything. I wanted to include this piece, especially if you wanted to ask questions later. I think we all hope that as time goes on and we've got a bit of time to go, that things will get better and better and better. And I think that's what we're looking for. Rest assured, as we will have the safety protocols in place that all of the different levels of government are calling for at that time. But we also are dedicated to making you feel as comfortable as possible. When we did run cruises last fall, we had a survey at the end, and 99% of our passengers said that they were happy and that the protocols didn't impede their experience of the cruise, and we were ecstatic. We were very happy with that, and we know that not only can we take very good care of you, but we can keep you safe while we do it. So that's all that I have. There will be time for questions at the end for Mona. She's our reservations manager, and I would like to turn it back to you. I'm sorry for taking as long as I did.
Thank you very much, Daniel. That sounds very, very nice, that cruise. Okay, so I will try to share my screen here. I think you have to take yours down.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
And I will get back to sharing here. Okay, are you seeing it? The Kingston slide again?
We are.
Yeah, perfect. Okay. Okay, we'll move on here. Okay, now we're in Ottawa, and we'll let Koral take over again here.
I'm just smiling to myself because I can appreciate what Daniel was saying. It's so easy for us to be enthusiastic about our destinations that the worry is usually not having enough to say. It's thinking, oh goodness, am I talking for too long about everything? So I can appreciate that. But another destination that we have post cruise is a beautiful city of Ottawa. So we do get to spend a little bit of time here after the river cruise is completed as well too. So our capital city, Ottawa, is a really beautiful city, and you can see the Parliament buildings in the lower right-hand corner. We'll see the Parliament buildings. We're going to have a guided city tour as well. We will see the Rideau Canal. You see the Rideau Canal at the base of the Parliament building in that shot as well too. And something else that I'm actually really excited that this particular tour is doing is the RCMP stables. Over the years with WestWorld, we've had tours out on our East Coast tour where we've been able to see that, and tours where we haven't. And so I am super excited for this attraction, because I have to say, for me personally, that's been one of my favorite things in Ottawa. Talk about icons for our country. I would certainly say the musical ride is one of those. So actually being at the stables and seeing those gorgeous horses, and seeing the RCMP practicing with the horses in the big arena and the little museum they have there, and just learning about all of that, that is a really awesome attraction. So yeah, that will be part of our stay in Ottawa as well, the RCMP stables and museum. Again, we'll see the Parliament buildings, the Rideau Canal, and so much more in the nation's capital.
Perfect. Thank you, Koral. Okay, so another thing we love is hearing from our passengers. And at the end of every tour, we provide our guests with a survey that they can rate the hotels, attractions, meals, and how the overall tour went, so that we can continually improve our tours. And here are just a couple of reviews from our past passengers. So Haida Gwaii, someone has said, another enjoyable and informative trip with WestWorld Tour. It was their 8th trip, and they hope to have many more with us. And then a Maritimes All Coach. Passengers have traveled with us for the 3rd time. It's been excellent, and the service of our tour directors and drivers could not be better. Everything was planned well and very relaxing, and most of all, they had fun. So that's always nice to hear. So as we wrap up, I just wanted to remind everybody, and I'm sure most of you have received the postcards in the mail back in January, but we do have a promo on right now that if you book by the end of this month, you can save $50 per person. So ask your travel agent when making the booking to use the promo code 2020 with your reservation. So that can be for a tour for this year or next year. So we hope everyone can take advantage of that and save a little bit of money and say good riddance to 2020. And that's the end of our presentation. So we hope everyone enjoyed it, and we look forward to welcoming you when it's safe to do so. And hopefully everyone learned some great information on our tour. So if anyone has any questions, I will stop sharing here and check the chat. But if anyone wants to unmute themselves and ask a question, feel free to do so as well.
Question for Koral.
Sure.
How much walking is there I'm glad to see you. We went to Alaska with you. I'm in the process of probably having to have a knee replacement. And so I'm wondering about walking.
So a couple of the spots in the tour are new destinations for us in St. Jacobs and Kingston. So I wish I could speak on those from experience, but I can't. For those destinations, I would say probably not too bad, though, as far as walking goes. Thinking especially St. Jacobs, I mean, leisurely pace, not great distances, and then that free time just to, to stroll if you want, or sit and relax. So that probably shouldn't be too bad. Places I can speak on from experience, definitely the coach journey out. So first 4 days, not much at all. You'd be totally fine. Ottawa, same thing, not bad. For example, the RCMP museum I was just speaking of, it's small. So yeah, it wouldn't be too bad. I would definitely call this not a really high level walking tour. Probably Alaska would be more so. We definitely have tours that, as some of you know, are definitely more walking, Croatia, for example, and some with less. So I would call this probably low to medium. Leanne, maybe you might want to expand on your thoughts on that, but that would be my opinion, probably low to medium, I would say.
I would agree for our portion, yes. And maybe Mona or Daniel can expand a little bit on the tours that are included with the ship, how much walking would be involved.
It's exactly the same with us, Koral and Leanne. We would consider it low to medium walking. Some tours are more than others, but again, at a very slow, leisurely pace, and you do as much or as little as you want. So again, low to medium on the vast majority of our tours as well.
Perfect, thank you. Does that answer your question? Is that?
Yes, thank you very much.
Perfect, great.
Good to see you.
I see Terry Smith has their hand up. I don't know if they wanted to ask a question.
Yes, I had two questions, but while we're
Sure.
talking about mobility, like I use a walker, and I've traveled with it because it's got a seat on it. But I'm thinking I might have to upgrade to a scooter, but I would be looking at one that folds up like a suitcase. And I wouldn't be using it on the boat. It would be, if we're going off, like let's say we're going through a museum, I would probably want the scooter then because it can't be on my feet for too long. But as you said, it's more about medium to low. So maybe the walker would do all right. But my limit is I can't even go and get groceries. So, so I was wondering, do you accommodate, a scooter that, like I said, it compacts into like a carry-on suitcase?
Yeah, so we can accommodate that. It would just go underneath the coach while we're traveling, and then the driver will have it out for you when you get off the coach. And then I believe on the cruise ship as well, we can accommodate that. They will be able to get that on and off for you when you're getting off for shore excursions.
Okay. And my second question was, do we have a tour of the Human Rights Museum in Winnipeg?
No, unfortunately not. We just don't have enough time in Winnipeg, but that would be something that would be nice to be able to be added. I'm not sure where you're from. There is an option to join the tour in Winnipeg. So if you're wanting to travel to Winnipeg and spend a couple extra days there on either end, that would be an option for you as well. Yeah. And we could help with hotel arrangements.
Oh, okay. I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, we had a question from Kelly. Does a ship sail through the night or dock?
We dock every night. That way you're not going to miss any of the beautiful scenery along the river. And all of our docking is done in very secured areas. And it allows for the passengers to get off the ship in the evening as well and go for a nice stroll through the wonderful little towns that we do dock in. So no, we do not travel at nighttime.
Perfect, that's great. They can get off and explore on their own.
Yes, they can.
Okay, what else do we have here? Linda, length of tour pricing and travel arrangements from Alberta to the starting point of Regina. Okay, Linda, we can send you all the details after the the presentation is over, if you want to just send me your email address, I can send you all the details over. You can also contact your local travel agency and they can give you all the details. For starting in Saskatchewan, you would be responsible to get here. So we start in either Regina or Saskatoon. And we can help with pre-night accommodations in either city if you need. And I think that was all we had for, oh, one more here. Oh, someone else wanted the information. Perfect. I will get that sent out to you, or you can contact your local travel agent as well. And did anyone else have any questions? If you want to unmute yourself, you can go ahead and ask. Nobody? Okay. Well, I just want to again thank Koral, Daniel, and Mona, and all of you for joining us. And we will hope to see you on the tour. And also Koral will, or whoever our tour director is on this tour will be showing people around the outside of the CN Tower as well. That was one of the questions that was asked too. So
No
do
way.
a little walking tour in Toronto there. Sorry, go ahead.
We'd like the information too.
Sure, yeah.
We'll send it. Mhm.
If you want to send in the chat your email address, we can get that sent off to you.
Mute first.
Also, Koral or Leanne, it's also on our website. They can click
Yeah.
and download
Yeah,
the
you can-
brochure.
Yeah. You can also visit our website, westworldtours.com, and you can search under Canadian US tours for the Sailing the St. Lawrence. And there is also our virtual brochure. We've done a virtual brochure this year, so you can check out all our tours that we're offering. So.
Just like to ask Carl, when are you going to run a WestWorld tour to Churchill?
Again.
Oh,
Summer and winter. I like to do both.
yeah. Well, we'll see what happens for 2021. If we're able to this year. But yeah, going forward, we'll definitely be doing it again. But we are actually working right now on Churchill tours. The summer tour that we've offered in the past, we are definitely planning and hoping to do it as soon as we're able to. So we're ready to make that happen. We've got dates late July and early August, which are prime time for the beluga whale season. And then actually we've been working on hopefully putting together a polar bear season tour as well. So that's something that we're definitely trying to make happen as well. And we've got some good dates for that as well. So late October, early November is prime time for our polar bears up here. So yeah, a great Canadian destination, so much to offer, and home for me as well. So yeah, it's a great spot.
Thank you.
And you
Yeah,
can find the details on our website. We have the information on both tours, the summer tour and the fall tour. Right now, as Koral said, we're still in the works of getting all the details finalized for the fall tour, but late October. And yeah, all the information is online.
Got a question.
Sure.
I'm a travel agency. So what I'd like to know is who's the BDM for Western Canada?
That would be Kelly Watson. And if you put your email in the chat, I can have her contact you after we're done here.
I'd appreciate that very much.
Sure.
Thank you.
Yep. Just shoot me your email in the chat and I will pass that along to her.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks for joining us.
Oh, you bet. It was very good.
Oh, great. Glad to hear. I think we'll all be heading to the St. Lawrence cruise.
Well,
full.
we'll make room for all of you if you all.
Good. Great. We'll all be there. Sounds like a great cruise, and it's all Canadian. I don't know if anyone noticed, but we have our Maple Leaf collection, so it showcases all of our Canadian only tours, which for the next probably year or so is going to be the new travel option, and staying within Canada, supporting local, and keeping everybody safe. So
And that's something that I'm finding that we really need to get geared to now for the time being. But saying that, with the bus, how are you guys setting that up within the means of COVID? And, you know, is it going to depend on where we at? You know, what's happening for you to be able to put people on a bus?
Yeah, so at this time, everything changes so quickly. We are monitoring the situation. We've had to cancel a few tours already. And just because we need to keep our passengers and our staff safe, but we are following government protocols with safety and sanitation and all that kind of stuff. So we are monitoring the situation, and we won't be running any tours when it's not safe to do so. So we will keep everybody safe, and we hope that things turn around soon so that we can all get back to traveling.
Oh,
But
absolutely. I know,
Yeah.
myself included, I sure would like to get back on any type of cruise ship.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, but this seems like a better option, you know, small ship within Canada, and you don't have to worry about being confined to a tiny stateroom if something happens.
Right.
So yeah. Okay. More info on our tours. Okay, Deanne, if you want to shoot your email address in the chat, I will get you some more information. And yes, we have recorded the presentation, and I can send that to you, Lorna. And Cheryl, I will send you some more information if you would like to put your email address in the chat. And if we don't have any more questions, we can wrap up.
Well, Leanne, we'd
Okay.
like to take this opportunity to thank you for including us in this presentation. I think it was well worth it for us.
Thank you.
Dan.
Yeah, I know it was great to learn about it in a little more detail.
Great to meet everyone, and I think it's always seeing the rest of your itinerary made me really excited. It made me feel like I wanted to go on the trip. So
well, you fly out to Saskatchewan and join us on the way out. So we'll drop you off
back home. Yeah, I don't know. It's so right that after a year where we weren't really hardly able to go anywhere, I think people are just really chomping and ready to travel again. And I know that I'm excited for myself personally for the chance to be able to go somewhere when the time comes. And as we get closer to warmer weather, and we've really in Ontario seen the numbers drop over the last while, you start to get excited that we're all going to get the chance to go somewhere, and nothing would make me happier than to see all of you get a chance to visit here.
Yes, hopefully we can make it happen. And if not this year, we will be doing this tour again next year. So we will make it happen. We'll make sure everyone gets to experience the St. Lawrence.
Leanne, if I can just jump in here for a half second
Sure,
too.
yeah.
Well, for one thing, great job for all of you guys, Leanne, Koral, and our guests have been really good. This is the first one of these we've done. So any of you folks who joined in, if you enjoyed it, tell your friends if we do another one, and maybe just drop us a little note that you know, maybe something you'd like to see, or if we could do something a little better, or anything like that. Oh, somebody did a thumbs up. Cool. I'll give you an email address too. It's very easy. It's just information@westworldtours.com. If you got any ideas or suggestions, I think it went really well. We had a really good turnout, and I think we'll be doing lots of tours. Gives us something to do.
Yeah.
I just want to say for me as well too, the term I was thinking about earlier was chomping at the bit in our desire to travel again. And I think that applies to a lot of us. So yeah, and also like I said near the beginning of our presentation, I really feel like coach and cruise combos are awesome. I do. And yeah, the river cruise there looks fantastic. Daniel, Mona as well too. So for myself, I know I can probably speak with on behalf of all of my fellow guides and tour directors as well, we miss you. We miss you all so much. We too are really chomping at the bit to travel, but you know what? It's those friendships that we make too with the passengers we've had, and you know, the ones we look forward to meeting in the future. So we sure miss you, and we look forward to traveling again. It has been such a pleasure to be a part of the presentation today, everyone. Thank you for including me, and gosh, I'd love to be part of more Zoom presentations like this as well too. It's fun. Hey, it's something, right? So so thank you to all of you.
Thanks, Koral. It's a new way to travel virtually. We can dream while we're waiting.
That's right, and I think it fulfills a bit of a social need that some of us have after we've been isolated
Cooped
for
up.
part of the winter, right? So
Yeah.
on that note, I think I'm going to have to go now and end my time. But I thank you so much, and we would certainly be happy to do this again if you would like us to come and present with you. And we appreciate it. It's great to be a part of it. Okay.
Thank you so much for joining us, Daniel.
Take
And Mona,
care.
have a great afternoon.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay, everybody, we will hope to see you again soon, and we will keep you posted on our next virtual travel presentation. Take care, everybody.